everybody, and welcome to the Positively Awesome Wrestling Podcast. PAW apostrophe DCast. I can't believe I've never put two and two together with that one before. I just figured it out today, so that's how I'm gonna push it for now on. We are on a special night and day once again, but that's just how things work when you have the owner of AW counter programming me. I'm gonna email him. We're gonna get that figured out, and it's not gonna happen ever again. I hope, but yeah, it probably will. I am joined as always by my I don't want to even say co-hosts, the co-host of the show. This is our show. So I'm joined by my peoples, my buddies, my wrestling friends. To the right of me first, Tidy. I got it right. I second guessed myself, but to the right of me, I got Tidy. Tidy, how have you been? How have you been enjoying the wrestling this week?
I'm really good, man. I got like 3 hours of sleep. Went to a club, had a lot of fun last night. And then I was like, man, can I even do the podcast? Like, no. It's perfect because it's right before Raw. So I'm double excited. Get to talk wrestling with the two great ones and then get to go watch the great show Raw.
Absolutely.
I'm in a damn good mood right now. Screw 3 hours of sleep. That's
what I like to hear. He's in a good mood. That means we're going to have a good time and a good show. And not to be outshined, and certainly not least, as always, Albert right below me. I don't have to second guess that one at all. I can see with my own eyes. He's right down below me. How the heck have you been, Albert? And how have you been enjoying wrestling this week?
I'm doing pretty okay. It's been a little bit of a crazy week. As you can probably see, I'm in a different place because I look completely different. Hopefully we get that rectified before next week because this looks strange, but I didn't give anybody enough time to kind of adjust. But I just want to, say one thing. Last night, Jimmy defeated me. And he is the AEW predictions.
I was going to get to this, baby.
Yeah. But I still am the WWE predictions champion. And the good thing is that I have this here. So I can, just like hold this up here just for a little while we do this. So, I can just remind everybody that.
I got titles too around here somewhere. Wait, I got too many to keep track of. That's how the Drip King does it. He said he got to watch. He says, watch me. So that's what we're going to kickstart with. The AEW Revolution was last night. The the Positively Awesome AEW Predictions Champion retained because that's what I do. I only missed. I can't believe the FTR match. I honestly can't believe the FTR match went the way it did, but it did. And then by the time the Sting match were around, it didn't even matter. I had it locked, sealed, and delivered. So look at the little tiny belt. He the champion.
This is the loser belt. Can't win a damn thing belt. Keeps betting with his heart belt. Don't got a mind for this.
That's not the little tiny belt. That's the little tidy belt.
The tidy belt.
I'll take that. That makes me feel good.
What the heck's going on here? Anyways, so yes, your AEW predictions champion has retained once again because that's what he does. And don't worry, everybody, I will be finishing my story for the WWE predictions championship when WrestleMania comes around. And just to get it out of the way now, I already have our first guest joining us for that one. I'm going to try and make it an extravaganza if I can because it's WrestleMania and we should. And we will be joined by none other than one of my favorite wrestling fans of all time, Andy, a good buddy from old Wrestle Buddy, will finally be joining the podcast and joining the show. You got your work cut out for you this time, Albert, because Andy's the real deal. We got the tribal Har is here. I'm not acknowledging you, buddy, because I'm the champ. I'm the champ here, but I appreciate you joining. That's much appreciated. So thank you very much. Thank you, Sting. We will definitely be getting to that because AEW Revolution was last night. It was a fantastic show, and Sting went out like a G. I really liked it. And yes, we have Tidy back. That's always a good sign for a good show. And
what's up, Harry?
The week of WrestleMania, Andy will be joining our show. So mark it on your calendars. It's going to be awesome. And again, he might not even be the only one. It's an extravaganza. I might just start handing out.
He's just throwing more challenges my way, but he's never going to take the championship off of me.
I can't help it that we have more people that want to predict WWE than they want to predict AEW. See, the problem is they know they can't beat me. They feel very, very, very confident that they can beat you, and that's why they want to take a shot at you. That's how it works. I'm the Roman Reigns. You're the Seth Rollins here. Deal with it.
I'm still undefeated. I don't know what you're talking about.
What up? What up, Lou? Thank you for joining us. You said you did. I'm glad he did. I didn't want the Young Bucks to win.
What I mean, just overall, just
an
an event in general, right? I mean, history making. So many legends in attendance. You can say what you want about AEW, but they booked Sting and his entire run very well. We've talked about how those may not have been our specific opponents that we wanted to see them face. Sting faced in his last match. We might have done things differently, but all in all, with all that said and done, what we got was absolutely amazing. If that's the way Sting wanted to go out, it was well good enough for me. I think it was good for everyone else.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the better retirements that have ever been, the way it's been orchestrated and the way it was done. One of the best last matches that we've seen in pro wrestling, and nobody can be more deserving of that than a guy like Sting.
Yes, and I'm definitely going to be talking about this later on when we talk about our favorites of the week. In case anyone wants a spoiler alert, I'm going to be talking about AEW Revolution. But Albert, I do have to ask you one question. Did you honestly think you had a chance against me? It doesn't matter what you think because I'm the champ, you're the chump, and we're moving on with the show. How about them apples, baby?
I fell for that.
Right here.
I fell for that, like hook, line, and sinker. Like, what the hell?
You did.
I really did.
I don't know if you're talking to me or if you're talking to Albert. I feel like you're talking to Albert because you're real
He
confident
is.
about it. If you're talking to me, I'm a champion for a reason.
He is, but he's never going to have this.
I'm going to just come jack it from
Look, man, I'll say this. WrestleMania, that's a lot of matches. That's a lot of extra stuff we can throw in there to try to win and get creative with it.
Yeah, buddy.
WrestleMania is going to be hard. That's 2 nights. Man,
It's going to be fun.
We're going to throw an extra. Who's going to be Paul Heyman's Trick Question Hall of Fame inductee?
We'll talk about that at the end of the show. Since we don't have a guest, I'm going to make that our guestion of the week.
There you go, Tiny. That's the guestion of the week.
It was sent in by Paul Heyman himself. No cap, everybody.
Exactly.
No cap. Paul Heyman saying he wanted to be part of the guest of the week, and he asked who we think is going to be inducted him. So how about them apples?
It.
Before we've ran it on long enough, it's time to get to the positively awesome top 5 list of this week. That's right, it has returned because I have a great one. The list itself might not be that surprising, but I did rank it, and we're gonna get to it. And this week's is who can stop Gunther? Who will stop Gunther? Who's deserving to stop Gunther? Will anybody stop Gunther? That is the question. I don't think there's a better question in wrestling right now to talk about than that. That's my opinion, because Gunther is the best champion in all of wrestling. He is arguably the best wrestler in all of wrestling. And that's the list. That's why we're doing it, because I don't think we talk about Gunther enough.
True.
That would be... Do they have any ties? That's an honest question. I don't even know.
They were co-general managers. I think they became friends, once, things kind of, both of their companies went out of business, but it's an interesting, that's one of the more interesting ones.
Yeah. Talking to both of us. Listen, I'm going to check you into the SmackDown Hotel on the corner of Rome Drive and Know Your Role Boulevard. And if you don't know your role is to come in second place to this guy. You can have his, no, you ain't getting his belt either, because that's mine too. I'm going to be quad champ by the time WrestleMania is over with. Believe that, just like y'all believe in the Shield. So who can stop Gunther? I'm having a hard time with these buttons right now. Here we go. There we go. So at number 5 on the who can stop Gunther train, he kind of stepped into the role last week. It was very momentary. We just got a little passing by. They got a little face off. Got a lot of people excited. They're like, hey, I wouldn't mind that, because we don't know what he's doing for WrestleMania, and this wouldn't be a bad spot for him. And if you haven't guessed by now who I am talking about, it is none other than, I know two of the 3 favorite here, Sami Zayn. Because Albert, you fall into that category as well. Sami Zayn's one of your favorites, yeah?
I love Sami Zayn.
Okay, there we go.
Who doesn't love Sami Zayn? Let's be honest.
Of fans for Sami Zayn. I have him at number 5 on the who will stop Gunther. Who will defeat Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, before I even get into the reasons, I'll ask you guys, what do you think about Sami Zayn possibly being the man to dethrone Gunther? Tidy, you're first, because I know you love some Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I love Sami Zayn. I think it would be like the only benefit.
Hello, babe.
Oh, it's Amanda. Hey, Amanda. The only benefit I can think is that, like, if Sami Zayn wants to be this World Heavyweight Championship contender, this ain't the World Heavyweight Championship. But, man, what a boost if you can beat Gunther. And that's my other problem, though. Like, to beat Gunther, That's crazy. Where so many have failed. And Sami Zayn just got on a hot streak, and now he's going to beat Gunther. But that's not his original plan. I think he wants the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
That's what he's aiming for. That's why I can see 5 on the list is good. But, I mean, if you want to prove that Sammy's the man, yeah, you have him beat Gunther. And then he's completely undeniable. They did try to do the same thing with Jay. Like, hey, look, Jay can be a contender. You know, let's make him really main event. That's why I like it. But that's why he's also number 5. I want him to go for a heavyweight championship. I wouldn't mind him beating Gunther, but I don't think it's realistic.
And Albert, what about you, sir?
I love Sami Zayn. I actually think that if Sami Zayn wrestles Gunther at WrestleMania, that is an unbelievable one-on-one match. I know we've seen it before, but it still kind of does feel fresh in a way because we haven't seen it in a long time. And the other thing about it is that Sami doesn't need to win. If Sami loses to Gunther and Gunther extends his streak, it makes Sami even more lovable because he got that close. And just imagine the redemption story if he turns around and ends up, somehow getting, feeling like he's at the lowest of lows and then getting an opportunity and becomes number 1 contender and takes the championship off of Drew McIntyre. I think him losing at WrestleMania is almost a great opportunity for him to enhance his own. I don't want to use the word story because it's so overdone now, but to enhance his own road, and an arc later on.
See, I like the story thing though because that seems to be like the, I guess, the man, I'm at a loss for words right now. The theme. It's the theme for WrestleMania.
Yeah,
everyone's like, I'm completing my story. I like that they did that so that it takes it off of Cody and makes it less annoying. Drew's like, I'm gonna finish my story. Punk's like, I'm gonna finish my story, and everyone's like, what about my story? And then you have Sami Zayn. What's his story? His story is finding his way back to where he feels like he belongs. I think Gunther would be an awesome challenge for him, but ultimately, him losing to Gunther would do far more for his character development than winning, in my opinion.
I agree.
We already know Gunther is amazing in the ring. We know Sami's really awesome in the ring. But as a babyface, the way that Sami Zayn is able to tell a story through his facials, through his determination, and everything that he does in that squared circle. I've said before, I think he's the best babyface, like pure babyface wrestler when it comes to in-ring style. And I think to give them like 15 minutes to kind of let something breathe and tell that story, 15, 20 minutes even. I'm not even a fan of like putting times on things, but in this instance, I think it would be important so that Sami could really make you believe, really get you invested. And then when he loses, heartbreak all over again. And if he's going to go down the road that I want him to go down, I think a loss here would be helpful. But I wouldn't be mad if he dethroned Gunther either, because I've gone on record as saying I love Sam. I got him tattooed on my leg. I love Sami Zayn. If he never won a world title, though, I wouldn't even be upset, because the list of people who never accomplished that should have is far smaller than the people who have, which means he's part of a more prestigious list. Honestly, he'd be there with Scott Hall, Roddy Piper, Ted DiBiase,
Mr. Perfect, the British Bulldog.
That's a very small list, and those guys are all beloved people. It's not like that's a shitty list. That's a great list to be a part of.
It's true.
He didn't win a world title. Yeah, it would, but at the same time, it's prestigious at the same moment. So I'm not mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it. Either way, if this match happened, I ain't mad at it. And I totally forgot that Gunther and Sami Zayn had wrestled. That was on Raw. 12-minute match. Middle of the card. I don't even remember it, honestly.
I remember it being a good match. I remember that they had a little bit of a story going in, and Sami wanted to try to beat him, and he lost. I mean, it was on that. I mean, it's on that road where we knew Gunther, was on this legendary run, and there was no stopping him. But
when Gunther was Walter, that dude literally fought everybody on NXT UK. Like everybody. The only one I can't think of is, did he fight Noam? The Supernova.
He would have lost that one for sure. He ain't beating Noam, bruh.
Dude, those matches were out of this world good. Every single one of them. I forget the time dude that would do the thing with his watch, but he did a match against him too. Yeah, Kushida did, and that was a dope ass match.
Oh, Kushida was dope in NXT. He was definitely dope in NXT. Let's get these comments before we go to number 4. Jimmy, you can sit at the head of the kiddie table. I'll sit at the adult table. That's right. That's all right with me because when I'm sitting at the head of the kiddie table, that means my reign of championship dominance will just last much longer because adults die before kiddies do. I will be champion for years upon years upon years upon years. Your time's up. My time is now. Y'all know what that's all about. I want Sheamus to beat Gunther. That's not a bad nod. He's not on my list, though. Unfortunately, not on my list. I don't think he's going to be a part of WrestleMania. I think he's showing up after. Sorry. I know that's a bummer for you, Toddy. I just don't think he's going to do it. Drew has to win at Mania for sure. If he doesn't, we're rioting. We're pitchforks and everything. We're done.
God,
my Raw is going to be epic tonight. I'm waiting for it. I can't wait to watch Becky bust Nia Jax's mouth open. That's going to be classic.
Nah, man. Liv is going to interfere.
We're going to get to that one. And then Sami ain't. Listen here, Gary. You've gone too far. You've gone too far. And I'm not here for it anymore, buddy. Sami Zayn is world champion material. Is he WWE head, like Roman belt material? That's to be seen. I think he is. But as far as what Seth's holding, Sami's material for that. 1,000%. He could do exactly what Seth Rollins is doing.
You're good.
So with that, we will move on to the next name on this list. Who will dethrone Gunther? And I was not a fan of this name at first because I'm not a fan of them taking something that worked in NXT and just redoing it. Not a fan of it at all. But now that I've seen what he's been doing, now that I see kind of the trajectory they got going for this guy, I think there's no better way than to put the sprocket to him, which they should because he's the future for that company, Braun Breaker. It's highly unlikely because he's on SmackDown, but we all know they don't really follow these rules too very well. They don't.
Especially not WrestleMania season.
Yeah, they could do like a battle royal. He ends up in it and he wins it, and then that's how we get there. And I'm all for it. I'm fully sold on. I loved him at first. I kind of got tired of him because of his NXT title run. It was a little bit stale. I hated when he got the title back. He lost it to Dolph and then he got it back. I was like, why? What was the point of that? That was silly. But I'm officially on board with him again. I think he's fantastic. And this would be a monumental moment for his career this early on. And you're basically putting the rocket to him. So with that, Gary, I am not lying to myself because Sami Zayn is world champion material. Right here. She's saying it too. Everybody's saying it. You're the black sheep in this one. Sami Zayn is world championship material. Yeah, this is a possibility, and a bunch of the names I'm saying could possibly be in that one. I think at least 3 of the names will be in this multi-man match. But Braun Breaker, Albert, I'll come to you first. You threw your hands up like told you or something. We got to hear what it is. Albert has to say about it. Braun Breaker defeating Gunther. What you say about it?
I think one of the first shows that we ever did together, I think I talked about, it was very early on. I talked about how if you want to bring somebody like, to make an impact up, you bring up Braun Breaker, you make him take the title off of Gunther. And I think that, that's, a star making thing to do. You have the most decorated Intercontinental Champion of all time. Undoubtedly, the trajectory he's going on right now, barring any unforeseen circumstances, probably one of the best heels of our entire generation after he's all said and done with Gunther on this legendary run as Intercontinental Champion, and somebody's got to take that championship off of him. I talked about this a little while ago. A lot of these big legendary runs don't usually end with like a young up-and-coming guy. But if you're going to strap the rocket to somebody, if you want to put that guy into the upper echelon and put him in that and put him on that trajectory, you do it with Braun Breaker. And Braun Breaker is believable as all hell to take that championship off of Gunther.
26 years old. He could literally be your guy for the next 15 years.
Absolutely.
Literally. They used to do this all the time back in the day, too. How old was The Rock when they strapped the rocket to him?
Around the same age, if I'm not mistaken.
He was
maybe even younger. Maybe even younger. He might have been like 24, 25.
I think he was 23. And then Randy Orton was like, what, 23, 24? Like, they used to do this all the time. They haven't been doing it recently.
Brock, same.
Dom, same.
There you go.
But Braun Breaker, like, you got to do it. Like, I don't see why you don't, honestly. He has the look. He has the intensity. He has everything they need. He needs a mouthpiece probably just to get him over the initial hump. But there's one laying in wait for him. Unfortunately, it would suck because he would probably have to be heel for Paul Heyman to be his mouthpiece. I like him as a babyface right now. I do, because I think that intensity. We've heard it before. He reminds me of Goldberg. He literally reminds me of Goldberg, and I would book him the same damn way.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, straight up. Hey, you know what? If Braun Strowman was ready for WrestleMania, I would do that match.
That's a match right there.
You know what?
Crap.
I'll let you sit at the kiddie table with me. Not at the head, but you can sit at with me because that's a great shout right there. And then here you go. Randy was 24. So yeah, we got to start doing this with these young people. You have 2 people on the roster right now you can do it with. Braun Breaker and Tiffany Stratton. Young, strap the rocket to them. They're ready. And Dom. I can't believe I forgot. He's already there. I didn't miss Dom. He was already there.
Mello too. I mean, there's so many.
I think he's a little older, honestly. Let me look real quick. Tidy, what about you? What
You
do
might be right. You might be right.
All right, Braun Breaker as the babyface champion. That got really old in NXT, and then he had some bangers with Carmelo. I mean, all his matches were fantastic, and then he kind of went heel, and then he went full heel, and it was bloody-tastic.
Yes,
and then he got with the Wolf Dogs, Baron Corbin, and they're kind of like good guys. You know, it's just, I think him being a heel served him some good time of, you know, getting better character, being intense when it counts instead of trying to say the right thing. So I love Braun. I really like this guy a lot. Problem is, I don't see him. I would just want personally, like not that this is going to happen, but I would want them to give him more time instead of just strapping a rocket to him. I'm not for the rocket on him, honestly, and I'm glad he's number 4.
Yeah. I'm not with the idea fully. I just think it's worth mentioning because I don't think,
like you guys said, if there's someone to strap a rocket, that is a great call out.
Yeah.
I'm just not someone who wants that rocket on him right now. I give him 3 months to breathe. You know, that's what I say. It's very soon. It's very soon. WrestleMania a month away. He just came like a month ago. It's less than that, 2 weeks ago. And you're going to take out the biggest name that there is. It's a bit much for me.
Hey, but you didn't watch it back then, so you didn't see it happen. Brock Lesnar's rookie year.
Oh my God.
He literally was running through every single person. And he main evented WrestleMania within that first year. He beat the Rock to win the title. He main evented WrestleMania with Kurt Angle. Like, and it was awesome to see because you saw what he was doing and it was believable. You saw what that man was doing, and you're like, he's terrifying. Braun Breaker has that same vibe.
Yeah.
I'm not usually with the strapping the rocket to people and pushing them immediately because I think people do need some time to breathe. I feel like some people just have it, and I wasn't sure Braun had it until he showed up on SmackDown. And then
it's
I'm
like what?
2
years in NXT to get him ready, and then he starts vibing with Corbin, and everybody on NXT loves them. Like, love the Wolf Dogs. They seem unstoppable. You don't say like, "Hey, we're gonna beat them." I don't know what the OC is thinking. Like this is gonna be easy fight. No, you don't say that to Braun and Corbin.
Nah.
The funny thing is, what an amazing job that they do rehabbing Baron Corbin in NXT. Like, I was like, man, why are they doing this? And then I went, oh wow, this is why they're doing this. Now he's putting on great matches, and now no one can deny it. And now his career's got a resurgence just being attached to Braun Breaker, who's been this breakout star for them out down there. It's, you know, they've done Shawn Michaels is killing it.
Yeah. He's done a wonderful job with Baron Corbin. But I like the pairing because it showed you. We saw Braun kind of just being the normal babyface when he first had that initial run in NXT. Then when he got the heel run, we were like blown away. It was like, okay, Braun has that. And then with Baron, we're seeing a personality to go with it. It's kind of like the Austin Theory thing. When we saw that Austin Theory had personality, it was like, okay, this guy might have something. And now Braun did the same thing. The Wolf Dog things was hilarious. Him copying Baron, coming out on the motorcycle with him. It was very, very like a small thing to do, very easy thing to do, but it was a very effective thing to do. And now you see that Braun is capable of literally being. He's able to nail any role they're giving him. That's what he's showing me. You just gotta kind of transition him before it gets stale, like that first run did. So if they
I
can do
feel
that,
like they've leaned a lot more into who Braun Breaker is as a human being into this run with Baron Corbin right now. I think that's really made a big difference. I think they've just let him be himself just a little bit more, and I think it's really helped.
is this really their name now? That's a silly name. Braun Breaker's spear is amazing, and End of Days is my favorite finisher, so that's cool. But this is a bad name. This is
that's just the name of his finisher, the spear.
Okay. Okay.
They dubbed it Spear of Days. I was
okay.
like, okay, come on, you guys.
Okay. It's a great spear. It's a great spear. It's probably the best spear in the business. So I'm not mad at it. You don't need permission to sit at any table. You sit at my table without my permission. Bacarro. That's what's gonna happen. So I'm liking this. He's trash talking. He's definitely invited to the WrestleMania extravaganza to basically lose to me.
He means to me, right? Thank you. Of course.
Yeah, here you go. He won the King of the Ring as well during his rookie year. Brock Lesnar was insane that rookie year, and I loved it. Everybody did.
He debuts the day after WrestleMania, wins King of the Ring,
beats RVD in the finals, which was awesome.
Right, beats RVD in the finals, wins the world title against The Rock
at
SummerSlam, wins the Royal Rumble, main events WrestleMania. And wrestles Kurt Angle. Like, it's unbelievable. That's his rookie year. That's one calendar year. He does all of that. It's nuts. He just ran through.
He solidified him as like a superstar. Like,
yeah.
So sometimes you have to strap that rocket to people like this. I think Braun Breaker is that kind of guy.
That's absolutely.
If they don't, they don't. I think he has the capability. But so we will move on to number 3 on this list, and I think this is where the disappointment is going to start sitting in, because I was a little disappointed to put him at number 3 myself. No, like, how can I call myself a fan of this man if I have him at number 3? This isn't right. This isn't right. I've been his biggest supporter since last April, but unfortunately, Chad Gable is number 3 on this list at this point. Now, I'll say this. I might cry at WrestleMania if this happens and he does dethrone Gunther. I honestly might cry because, again, April of 2023, I'm penned it in. I'm making Chad Gable dethrone Gunther if I'm given the book. I think he has it. He swore to God he was going to take that title off of Gunther after that last match. Yeah. And then we saw that clip last week when he's coming back for it. Enough with the games. It's time to focus on myself. That was an amazing promo that he released on Twitter. I'm all for Chad Gable winning. Again, I'll be in tears if it happens. I'm not against it. I just think I've been given another option at this point, and I'm like, I like that one. So
dirty Dom me.
You don't know. There's two more spots on this list. You don't know. So with that said, Albert, we're gonna swing it to you first here. Chad Gable at number 3. How disappointed are you with me at first? And then also, what do you think about it?
Moderately, because I get it. Look, I think that there's a good chance, as Harry said earlier on, that there's a multi-man match at WrestleMania, and if Chad Gable's in that, I think there's a good chance that Gable could win the Intercontinental Championship. Do I think that if they do something like this, it's going to be a straight up like 6-man or a 4-way? No, I think there's going to be like a ladder involved or something like that. I think they're going to get the championship off of Gunther without him actually even being pinned. And I think that whoever wins the championship Gunther's going to somehow be distracted before he gets his rematch. I just have the feeling. That's just my thing. If they do it that way, if they're going to take it off him in a multi-man match, I have a feeling that's what they're going to do. And if Chad Gable happens to be the guy to do it, I think it'll get a pretty big pop. That being said, like you said, you have 2 other people that you think there could be. I think that there might be a better story to tell right now. And as much as I love Chad Gable, I think that sometimes, absence makes the heart grow fonder, but I think WWE taking him off of TV and keeping him out of high-profile like singles matches for a little while just made everybody kind of just think, oh, yeah, Chad Gable too. Oh, all right, Chad Gable, And it would have been a lot stronger if he would have kept the momentum the entire way through.
I think if he should have been in the Royal Rumble and he should have eliminated Gunther.
Right, exactly.
Way to set that up, and then
right.
He can go back like, hey. I told you I wasn't done with you, and now like you were off to the races. They didn't do that, and it's kind of soured me a little bit. I'll say this: if there's a Intercontinental title ladder match with Gunther involved at WrestleMania, I'm going to lose my mind. I don't want to see Gunther in those kinds of matches. I just don't think it fits his character.
That's what he said.
Ring
he
general,
like that kind
the ring is sacred. You do a
ring.
multi-man ladder match, that's just not his thing.
And I think that's how you frame it too. I think it's a great story to take the belt off of him so that it doesn't make him look like that's what it took. Nobody can beat me straight up for it. I'm still undefeated. No one's beat me. No one pinned me. No one made me submit. You can call yourself the Intercontinental Champion, but rest assured, if I want that belt, I will come and I will take it from you.
And that's kind of why I don't like it. Because unless we'll get to this in a minute, but with Chad Gable, if Chad Gable's the guy that takes it, I think that's a horrible thing to do to Chad because it takes away from his moment by not taking it from Gunther. He basically just kind of won it in some scramble. It's a scramble if it's a ladder match. And if Chad Gable wins it that way, it's kind of like it's tainted a little bit. Like,
so what if he pinned somebody else and not Gunther?
If Gunther loses the title, I think he's just done with that title. I think he's like, I'm on to bigger and better things. I've proven that I'm the greatest of all time. It's time to go on to bigger and better things. He doesn't go after that title again. So
I agree.
So if that's the thing, Chad Gable has to pin him. That's just my take on it. I think I would myself would be a little disappointed if Chad Gable won it in a ladder match.
I can see. I understand. That's fair.
But Tidy, what about you? I know you're sad and you're mad at me, but let's hear what it is. Gable at number 3. Let me hear it.
Out of a 10 out of 10 disappointment, it is a 10 out of 10 disappointment. Holy shit, you did not go back on your word. You like, we do not support Chad Gable on this channel.
I support him, baby. I love him.
Well, when you were talking about taking that IC title, but I get it. A story popped up in your mind, and that's where we go with wrestling. You know, some people were just gone for a while, and I'm like, oh, I'm talking all this crap, and like I forgot my little hero. His name was Sheamus, but he's gone. So my heart grew fond with other people. I get it. It's fine. I know it's Dirty Dom, and how I feel about it when he said that promo of it just means more to me. It's not just the championship, and because he's already said this even last year, he wanted to get into like idea of singles competition. You know, yeah, it's fun and it's funny, and he can be, you know, funny. And they went on a tear with Alpha Academy when they were super funny doing that shit in the middle of the ring, doing commentary, having little competitions. But we all know Chad's much bigger and better than he's like this biggest, strongest little dude you'll ever see in your life. And you cannot help but root for him. And what bigger, stronger dude that's a dominant breaking records champion that punked him and made him look like shit in front of his kid. And then it just reminded him, like, that's right. Yeah. My daughter thinks I should be a champion. Why not? Why can't she look at her dad that way? And it's something that we've all looked at Chad that way. Like, why can't he be that champion?
Yeah.
So for me, on an emotional list, not thinking of any other story, like, he's right there with Sheamus, in my opinion. And if what he just sold me, he just went above Sheamus for if I have to do it sooner. So I'm, man.
Again, this is not that I don't want it to happen. I definitely
I know you do.
I definitely do. Again, I'm one of, if not one of the, if I'm not the first person, I'm one of the first people to like make the recommendation that it should be Chad Gable. I know this. Like, I'm fully on board with it. Me and Albert had the conversation back and forth. Like, we were there. We were like, it should be Chad.
Absolutely.
And if it is, I'm awesome. And I'll pull this up because Harry, this is a good shout, Harry. If he won it in a ladder match and then he went on to beat Gunther at Backlash in Paris, I'd be willing to watch how it played out to see. I wouldn't shit on it if they went this route yet. I would have to see how the Backlash match went. I don't know the reception that Chad Gable's going to get in Backlash and Paris if he does win, though. That's my only kickback, because they be just cheering for just some weird, they think Baron Corbin's the king over there. So yeah, I don't know how they're gonna react to Chad. So yeah, again, if they went that route, I'd wait and see. I'm a wait and see kind of guy if they give me something cool. But
yeah, absolutely.
I'm a fan first when it comes to this stuff. That's why if I see something that makes me more happy, I'm gonna kind of gravitate towards that way. That doesn't mean I don't love Chad any less. I love him. He's right over here at the forefront of my randomness of figures. I love him. Chad Gable. Thank you. It's just time to move on to number 2, because I said I'd cry if Chad Gable won. I will lose my shit if Dominic Mysterio does it. Ho! And now We were talking about the ladder match, and hear me out with this one because you're going to be loving it in a second.
You get me, Jimmy. This is exactly what I was thinking. It's perfect.
Hey, yo, what up, Tom? Thank you for joining. So, if we're doing a ladder match at WrestleMania and Dom is involved, and Dom is the one to get out of this with the Intercontinental title, he then has effectively won it from Gunther. And I said I don't want some babyface to win it from Gunther because it takes away from it. It fits Dom's character to win it this way.
It's so much better.
Because then he can go, because Gunther's going to be like, I don't even care anymore. I'm moving on to bigger and better things. And Dom can be like, I beat the best Intercontinental champion of all time to win this title. And everyone's like, no, you didn't. And they're going to boo the shit out of this kid even more for it. And it's beautiful. It's perfect. And I want it. I want it so bad I can taste it. I'm waving the flag, baby. Give me Dom winning the Intercontinental title in a ladder match over Gunther at WrestleMania. And I want him to beat Sami Zayn in this thing. I want him to beat some big names so that he has some bragging rights. And then that could literally lead to Ludwig Kaiser taking it from him at Bash in Berlin because Gunther's like, I'm tired of hearing him run his mouth. Go take care of him. And then Ludwig gets an amazing moment at Bash in Berlin, which is awesome because Ludwig Kaiser is awesome. And I want to see him shine as a singles guy. So with that, Tidy, you're shaking your head at first. I want to know what you're thinking now that you've heard my vision for this and why it could be amazing.
Yeah, it could be amazing.
Yes,
I think.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's a definite yes in a sense. Like, all right. When I saw Dom step to Gunther after Damien's in his face, and he steps in after the shit that Rhea told him, you pick any but Gunther, Dom. Really, Gunther. This hint of concern. You know, when they're talking to Mommy, when Becky goes off about this guy's been feeding you grapes, this loser, and then Mommy's like, Don't you talk ever again about my Latino. It's the only sensitive side she's got. To see her bring that out and give Dom a little more layer. Hey, go smooth it over Rhea. And the whole time I'm thinking, but Damien's right there. Damien's the bigger dude. But when Dom stepped, Damien took a step back. Fully like, you know what? Like, and plus he's got the Judgment Day backing him. I mean, in ladder match, man, dude, like Judgment Day is going to help him out. I can really see it.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
J.D. McDonough has a spot on the WrestleMania show if this happens.
Oh, thank God. Because, like, when I looked at all their faces when they're staring down Imperium, not like they said, we don't fear you. They really don't. And I love that fact. And then Damien's, like, still screaming, not screaming too much, but then he gets pissed and starts taking his jacket off. I was thinking, hey, Damien as well. But they didn't stop Dom. And then Rhea gave the shout out to Dom, basically. It's like, it makes me want to see it. So,
you know what else it helps?
He was like number 2 on my list as well.
Thank you. Bro, they should hang this in the Louvre. That's beautiful. That's art, baby. That's art. Hang it in the Louvre.
Think about it. You got a real wrestler. You got a real bona fide badass standing in front of you. And Dom's like, Gunther, when we say we're going to take something, we do it. That shit is ours. He put his hands on the belt. It's like the opposite of characters. It's beautiful in its own way. And with
Gunther's lucky he got out of that ring alive. That's what I'll say. He is lucky to get out of that ring alive. If Dom wanted that title, he would have took it from him right then and there, baby.
Oh, man.
So Albert,
the crowd's reactions to this is going to be ridiculous.
Yes. That's part of the Dom gimmick. The crowd. Who is one of the most universally loved wrestlers on the internet?
Rey Mysterio.
Gunther. Okay. Who's one of the most universally hated wrestlers on the internet? Dominic Mysterio. What do you think's gonna happen if Dominic Mysterio
meltdown?
He's gonna be the most insufferable son of a bitch you've ever seen on the internet if this happens. I'm not gonna shut up. 100 tweets a day. Dom's the man. Dom's the GOAT. Gunther's a bitch. He don't stand a chance. He might as well just go home, pack up his bags, go to AEW, go for the international title. Nobody's taking it off Dom. He beat Gunther to go to the greatest of all time. That's what's happened. Again, hang it in the Louvre, man. Hang it in the Louvre, baby. I'm so pumped. You can't see it, but I'm teary-eyed. Albert,
dude, I think we got about 45 minutes in Raw starts, and man, we got Regeneration X. We got when he said there's people like R-Truth, Miz, Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, and then to see Dom get in his face. God.
Love it.
And Judgment Day are pissed. They almost scuffled. So they're going to say it. It's going to happen tonight. Something's going down.
I like that Rhea was like, Dom, what are you thinking? And Dom's like, I got this, mommy. Because that plays into the other storyline that I've been pushing forever, and that Dom's going to leave her because you don't even believe in me, You don't even believe in me, mommy?
Oh, God. Here we go.
You don't even believe. I wanted so bad that after that happened and Dom's like, I'm going to go talk to her. And then he walked off. I wanted so bad. I was at the edge of my seat for him to walk past Liv. I was like, give it to me, man. Give it to me. Albert, let's get to you before we start running out of time here. What do you think about Dom, the greatest of all time, taking the title away from Gunther? Just Gunther.
What else can I say you guys haven't already said? It's the biggest heat you'll ever get in wrestling. It's the most insufferable, intolerable, insane, unbelievably obnoxious thing you could ever do, and it's going to be gold. Think about that's going to be everybody's reaction. If Dom wins, that's everyone's reaction, and I'm going to be loving it because it's going to be so much fun. This kid can't even get on the microphone and talk now. Imagine him in the middle of the ring trying to say all this stuff. Forget about it. You're never going to be able to hear him. It's going to be so good.
Remember Roman, the Raw after he beat The Undertaker? You're getting that
6
moment
minutes.
all over again.
That's it. 6 minutes of straight booing. That's what you're getting with Dom from there on out. It's going to be nuts. Everywhere they go, he's going to be nuclear. And this is why, look, we can talk about as great as AEW Revolution was last night. I loved a lot of the things that they did there. But this is why, when it comes to character work and stuff like that, this is why WWE is king. And this is why they're better at doing a lot of this stuff than other companies are, because sometimes it isn't about who the best wrestler is. It's the person who gets the right reaction. And if you can
be a moment maker.
Right, exactly. And if you can take this kid at 24 years old and make him 25 years old, make him the most insufferable, intolerable heel that you could ever make in the entire world. Just imagine how good of a babyface this kid's going to be in 2 or 3 years.
He's 26, so he's the same age as the other ones we were talking about earlier.
So there you go.
And again, you just brought up. Imagine how great of a babyface it will be 2 years from now. It's the same trajectory I talked about before when people told me I was fucking crazy, and that he's on the same path as The Rock. I'm not saying he is The Rock. It's the same path and the same thing they did with him. And this is the next step you do. The Rock took the Intercontinental title from who? Literally the greatest of all time, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And that was what set him through the roof. This would do the same thing if he took it off Gunther. That's all I'm saying, everybody. I'm a moment maker. That's why I should be working for WWE, because I create some moments like this. I come up with these fucking things, and it's fucking beautiful. And sorry for the curse. I'm cursing way too much on that one because I'm just so excited about the thought of it. And
it's so much fun.
What's beautiful about this is 3 of the people I've listed, I would literally go nuts for if it happens.
Yeah,
I would.
When he went in Gunther's fest and he said Gunther, he says it in like this slow, stupid voice, and he's gonna piss people off. Like, look at me when I'm talking to you, Gunther. I'm so sick of his shit. I'm so sick of it, and it works. And then fucking Judgment Day have full faith in him. They're like, hey, man, be cool. Take it easy. And then they see the way he's talking, and they're just backing them up like they don't know.
I love it. I love
crazy. It. It's the best gimmick right now.
All right. So I could keep going all night on this one, but we have Raw coming up, and I don't want to miss that. So we'll move on to the number 1 on this list. And if you notice, I just said the number 1 on this list. I did not say the number 1 person, because my number 1 on this list is
nobody.
Keith Sweat. Nobody.
Oh my God.
Can beat Gunther at Mania? Nobody. I would love to see Gunther just continue to win and win and win and dominate until he won the World Heavyweight Championship. And then he just says, I don't need this thing anymore, and hands it to Kaiser or whatever they would do with it. I don't know. And he just continues to dominate and not lose into his heavyweight championship run. I would love it, because I don't know when was the last time we saw this? Who did this? we brought it up before. Someone
Was it NXT? And was
no,
it
it was in WWE a while ago. It was a while ago.
What, Intercontinental and
Solo gave the NXT North American Championship up.
I'm saying, but the person that won that was Intercontinental Champion, they won the World Championship, and then they had to vacate it. Was it Warrior?
Ultimate Warrior did 100%. He told me that WrestleMania.
It's a long time, and you know,
and I don't think it's ever happened again.
I think Gunther is far superior to Ultimate Warrior, so that would be amazing to happen, and he can just erase a Warrior from that record book as well as the best person to ever do it.
Yeah, just the idea of the prestige of Gunther. If he says, "Okay, I just ran through everybody. Now I beat, let's just say, for example, Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship." Well, this effectively ends my reign as Intercontinental Champion. And the record book shows longest reign, Gunther, lost 0, vacated after he won the World Championship. I mean, that is just, it's probably going to be like one of the only times that'll ever happen. Like it would be such an amazing statistic.
And who's going to hate it?
Nobody.
Because Gunther is that good. We buy it because he's that good.
You know, when you think about it, we talk about Warrior being the other one who did it. Remember, Ultimate Warrior lost the Intercontinental title to Rick Rude before that. Warrior wasn't undefeated. Gunther has not been pinned since he's been on the main roster. The last person that's pinned him was Braun Breaker in NXT. I just want to bring that up. That's the last person who pinned him. So if you also want to play on that with the Braun Breaker thing, you got it right there. But I think that we have a lot of names. Andrade, I think, to be on that list of being in some sort of a multi-man match. And even make it as a red herring that, okay, well, this is how we're going to take the belt off of Gunther. And he still wins. Because that's the other part. I was hoping that you were going to give him the opportunity to say that he retains. Because I would love to see them take him out of his element completely and say, you know what? We're going to put you in a ladder match. Let's see you do that. And he wins anyway. Like, I would love that.
Yeah. Tidy, go ahead.
The whole nobody thing, man. That's basically what he did at NXT UK. And then he had to go to WWE, so he had to drop it to somebody, and they gave it to the most intense man. It was Ilya who beat him for that.
I just watched that match actually recently. What a match. Unbelievable.
Because like, literally, you can't stop him. I really don't see anybody that can really, in the ring, handle him. Unless somehow, it will be a good time for the next 2 years. Let him go undefeated. And by then, build up a believable baby face. Just somebody that snowballs chance in hell. Right now, we're looking at snowballs chance of hell. You got Chad Gable. You got Sheamus, who lost twice. Unfortunately, I still think I want Sheamus to be the guy because Sheamus is still pissed about that. But, I mean, that would be brilliant if we can give it time for this. Because, like, what we got? Sami Zayn, Chad Gable. I had Sheamus. People said Miz that he brought up. And what did he say? There's nothing left for me here. And it made me think, oh, is he going to go to SmackDown and try to challenge the talent over there? That's what made me think it. Then that made me think again, shit, nobody's beating him.
Yeah.
Nobody.
So you watched NXT UK, so you'll be able to answer this for me. I think the only people that have pinned him in WWE is Ilya and Braun. That's it, right?
But you know who pinned Ilya?
JD McDonough, right?
Yes, he did. He took that damn belt. His foot was under the rope and all this other bullshit. Screw you, Johnny Saint. Screw you for doing that bullshit. You never came out to the ring once, and then you're going to come out to the ring now? After they had like a no-holds-barred, in the dark, freaking anything goes match, and then you're going to come out on a regular match and be like, oh, his foot was on. Like, dude, they were hitting each other with ladders and shit. And that was whatever. I'm over it. Bullshit. But anyways, JD beat Ilya, who actually beat him. That's how good JD is. I'm done.
And now JD will be helping Dominic Mysterio win the Intercontinental title.
Yes, he will.
Oh, my goodness. It's going to be amazing.
Spotlight.
One last time, I'll say it. Hang it in the Louvre, baby. Hang it in the Louvre. That's a beautiful shot. That's a
love him.
Beautiful, beautiful shot. So with that, that's the list. I would like to hear what you think about it. What's your favorite and least favorite parts of this list? Tidy, you're first. I already know your least favorite.
Yeah.
I want to hear it come out of your mouth.
No, I'm going to say the one you didn't name. The fact that Sheamus wasn't even on the list.
I'm sorry.
That's one. He should have been number 5. I mean, I can see him at number 4 or 5 because he's gone for a while. You know, Hardy and Spawn. I'm looking at Chad Gable. Favorite thing, honestly, I think Dom, dude. I think that would be so much fucking fun. I mean, like when he won the NXT North American champion, is like, well, I'm the champ of all North America, dude. Yeah. That dumb shit that he keeps saying, and he put on bangers, and he was doing like 3 matches a week. SmackDown, Raw, NXT, defending, and he was putting up a fight, and that's when people
banger
really saw
after
him.
banger
And
after
people saw
banger.
it like, holy shit, he can wrestle. This ain't Dom from 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Like, put him to work, give him some experience, and watch him go.
Yeah. I love
Dude,
it.
it would be like at least 5 months of pure entertainment and killer wrestling.
Yeah.
And Judgment Day backing him up so he won't lose. That'll piss people off more. I'm all for it.
The Intercontinental title was the workhorse one, and he's already proven that he could be a workhorse for them. Because, like you just said, he was on Raw, NXT, SmackDown. He wrestled like, I think it was like 10 times in a week one time.
Yeah, it was something crazy like that.
So he's give him the chance, baby.
I think he fought Dragon Lee and whooped his ass.
Yeah,
of course, interference, but
he
it
whooped
doesn't matter.
Sami Zayn's ass too, baby.
If you ain't cheating, Dragon Lee, you ain't trying. That's what you get. You should have known what this boy is capable of.
He beat Sami Zayn, and it had me like, what?
Shit. Yeah, I know.
Albert,
That's
you favorite
crazy.
and least favorite part of my list?
I actually don't have a least favorite because I like it all. I really honestly believe that's everything that should have been on there. Are there other names that I think will probably inevitably end up if there is a big multi-man match in that match? Sure. I think there's like Andrade being, teased. They'll see what where he starts off at, with his journey to WrestleMania this week, because he said his in-ring debut is going to be this week, right? So
yeah, Dom.
Tonight.
At Dom.
What up, Cameron? Thank you for joining me.
It is Dom, maybe it's JD. Who knows? It's going to be interesting to see what how Andrade starts. If he's going to be a heel, if he's going to be a baby face.
Oh, he's definitely a baby face.
I think so too. But yeah, honestly, I think you hit all the heavy hitters.
Thank you. If there's a multi-man match, I think Sheamus will end up in it, Tidy. If that makes
Thank God.
I think if there is a multi-man, there's room for him. You put him in there, and honestly, he could win it in that way. He could. And then you could just do the rematch at Backlash straight up, Gunther or Sheamus. That's not a bad thing to do. I'm not against it. There's a lot of options here, and that's how I know that Gunther is an amazing champion, because we have so many options that we want. We were talking about it with the Bloodline last year. There was so many options that could go, and that's why it was the greatest thing in the world. Gunther, there's so many options we could go. That's why he's the greatest champion in the world. It's phenomenal. So we will now spend a few minutes each on our favorite moments from the week. I will allow eeny, meeny, miny, mo, Tidy to go first here. So go. What was your favorite moment from the week, Tidy?
Ooh, as much as I want to say, I'm going to say both of them in a sense, just for the options, like you just said. It's the Rock Bloodline 21-minute promo. Then before that, you got Seth talking to Drew, and Drew warning him like, "Hey, man, you don't need to be on Mars. Just stay on Earth. Stay on Raw. You don't need to do this, dude. You're not an astronaut. You got a bad lead. You're going to taint my victory, dude. And you know what's going to happen? The Bloodline's going to come out at WrestleMania, and they're going to cost you because you're sticking your nose and shit. Just defend the Raw title." He's just trying to speak general logic to him. Also, being selfish, hey, don't taint my victory, dude. Just stay out of their business. And what does he say? Some risks are worth taking. And he went as far to say something like, "Oh, but what if they want to come from the Raw Championship, the heavyweight title, because it's the Bloodline?" And it's believable because Rock's on the board.
Yeah.
You got Jay right there. You got Jimmy messing with Jay on Raw. And it makes perfect sense. But for Seth to be like this much of a babyface and I'm just behind him, that promo was pretty damn solid. I watched it twice and I thought it was really good. It wasn't as solid as the first time because I was just trying to catch some believable stuff on it. But now you think about that and they start telling Cody or else. They come out there and it's like, "Look, dude, you need to drop this shit with The Rock or else." And what did they just give me? Rock comes out, challenges him to what? Says no at first. Like, bullshit, you ain't getting a match with me one-on-one, but I tell you what I'll do. I will do a tag team match. The greatest tag team of all time. You got Seth Rollins, one of the most prestigious wrestlers out there. You got Cody, the biggest babyface that people want a story. And you got The Rock and them, the generational badasses that are unbeatable. That is awesome. But that is the consequences for Cody sitting in that ring. And he's like, "Dude, or else." Because while we've threatened Seth Rollins, The Rock threatened Seth Rollins, "I will take your clown emoji ass and take that title away." And you're looking at someone that lives on the board. Shut up, punk. I was like, damn, Rock's cold.
Rock is very cold. I just wish he would cut out the repetitiveness a little bit. He does repeat himself quite a bit, and it's like, come on, Rock, chill with it.
Yeah, we kind of get the point, but he wanted to make sure his point was made. So I get what he's doing.
He's delivering great content. He's delivering amazing content. I'm not knocking it. It's just
Yeah. So my point, and I'll be done with it, is that they just introduced the story from Raw, from Cody challenging, now that it leaves the options like, one, they're not going to deny it. I can't see them being like, hey, dude, we ain't going to do this fight. We ain't going to do this tag team.
Yeah.
You got implications with Drew now. That's going to affect your Drew match at Mania, Seth. And both of you didn't back down. And The Rock's been warning you. Stop. And now this can affect Cody's night 2. Like, this is huge shit going on right now. I'm just shocked at how these options just unfolded so quickly, and I'm eating that shit up. So
I'm gonna throw out a scenario here. It literally just popped in my head. We can talk about it just briefly because you just brought it up. The Drew implication here, because Drew was already like, Seth, just leave it alone.
Yeah,
leave it alone. So Seth and Cody accept this challenge. There's no way they don't accept this challenge. They're gonna accept the challenge.
Of course, they're baby faces.
Yeah.
So what happens if Drew says, Seth, I don't want to face you at 50%. I want to face you before WrestleMania so that Drew can win the world title before WrestleMania.
No, but he's got to win it in the crowd, though. He's got to win it in the WrestleMania crowd.
I mean, why, though? He's a heel at this point. So I think him winning it and then going on to WrestleMania to defend it and win it, he'll definitely be at WrestleMania. There's no way he's not. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I think based on what we've seen from Drew and now what we know about Seth, this is spinning. I know it's kind of crazy. It kind of seems like it's hot-shotting it a bit. But if there's a plan in place, we were mad they were hot-shotting The Rock into the main event, and then all of a sudden they cooked us up, and we're like, whoa, we were crazy. Why were we bitching and complaining about this? So I'm just thinking, like, and then guess who can go after Drew for the world title?
Sammy? Thank God.
And that story is already in play. Like, it's not like it's out of the crazy. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But yeah, I mean, based on what we've seen, it's a possibility. That's all I'm talking about.
Yes, it's an earthly possibility. It could happen because Seth can screw up. He may be too gung ho, and I can't believe this shit. Yeah, that could happen.
Albert, before you tell us, is your favorite moment have anything to do with The Rock and the Bloodline?
I mean, of course, it was probably going to be. So, I mean,
if we're still going to talk about it, that's fine because I would like to talk about it still as well. I do
too, yeah. Because that's where I was going to.
The floor is yours. Oh, wait, before you do, Harry, you did it again, and this is why you get to be part of the extravaganza. Gunther versus Sheamus, career versus title is a brilliant idea.
Oh, my God, don't say that.
I would see Sheamus winning this. I would see Sheamus winning this. I think it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah,
it would be fun.
Good.
It also could be fun that Sheamus loses and comes back in like 6 months and then, winds up doing it too. I mean, but I would, yeah. But
I want to see some real. If someone loses a retirement match, they need to just stay gone. That's what I feel.
I'm with you there.
Jay's taking Jimmy. I'm convinced on that.
Yeah.
Yeet versus no yeet. I'm yelling no. If that happens on night 1, Albert, I don't know where you're sitting in the stadium. You'll hear me screaming no yeet the entire time. I'm not with it.
But you brought it up.
I'm not with that yeet shit at all. No yeet. Albert, though, floor is yours, sir. Favorite moment of the week.
WrestleMania, I'm going to be there, and that's our main event. Like, our main event is we get to see the return of the most electrifying superstar in all of entertainment in the ring with the 3 biggest stars in WWE right now. It's an insane thing to think about. There is also a small part of me, and this is where, like, sometimes I yell at wrestling fans a lot for just overthinking things too much. It's like, just take what you want. There's a little part of me that thinks to myself, man, I get that The Rock's got to be integrated into the biggest story right now. But now we're going to see essentially Rollins, Reigns, and Cody wrestle twice. They're both going to wrestle on both nights of WrestleMania, which is great. A great thing for us because that means I get to see them.
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't have gotten to see at least 1 or 2 of them.
You weren't going to see Roman and Cody.
Right. I wasn't going to see Roman and Cody no matter what. So now I get to, and that's awesome for me as a fan. But man, there's just a great setup to just keep everything the way it is and put a guy like LA Knight in there against The Rock and let them just go at it verbally and just and The Rock comes back and he's got he can still be a heel, because LA Knight's over, or sure, why not? I mean, there's a part of me also that doesn't want that because their trilogy is so good and I don't want them to touch it. But And look, if anybody's going to be doing anything for media with Stone Cold Steve Austin, his name is CM Punk, and that's the only person that I will take. I'm talking about over The Rock. I'm talking about I don't care if Jesus Christ comes back and he says I want one wrestling match. I don't care if it's got to be at WrestleMania. It's CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's what I want for that.
I'm never going to be upset about seeing Stone Cold though.
But the possibility that Bayley won't be able to, do main event. That's the part I am upset at.
Here's the thing with Bayley. If she's not main event, which clearly she's not at this point,
it looks like it.
They won't do it. She's not main eventing.
She's not.
Start night one off with her. Let her set the tone for the whole show. That's what I would do if she's not main eventing.
Yeah.
But in terms of what we're getting right now, unbelievable. The Rock is back, and he's updated his material. He told somebody that he was going to come out and slap the herpes off their lip. He said he got the Phoenix crowd to cheer that they were the highest, rated in method and meth use. And meth and cocaine use. There's no matter what this guy does, it turns to gold. And this is why when people turned their backs on him and started booing them, I was like, why are you doing this? You're setting yourselves up to just know that he's going to come out, you're going to pop, and then he's going to walk out and you're going to start booing because it's like, oh, that's right. It's The Rock. He's a bad guy. We're supposed to boo him now. And he walks out and you're going to do everything he wants. Sing along with The Rock. Everything about it. The whole thing. And then, boom, no, you can't do this at me. You're just being stupid because it's what you want to do. You're a fan. You want to be entertained, right? You want to do Sing Along with The Rock. It's the most fun. You've denied yourself doing this by being babies.
Nah.
I love it because they all deserve it now. They all deserve it now. It's perfect. It makes perfect sense in every sense of the word that they can't do this now. They can't fully enjoy it because now you made The Rock return, and he's got to be a heel, so he's going to make money now. I
think they do fully enjoy it because that's the beauty of this Rock. I think I said this last week or the week before. That's the beauty of this Rock character. When you hate him, you're not really hating The Rock because he's fun. He's fun. So you're going to boo him. He's going to start saying his things. You're going to chant. You're going to laugh. You're going to sing along with him. And that's when The Rock gets better because he's like, no. And not Sam brought this up. And I was like, bingo. He's absolutely right. My new favorite phrase is, I think you're going to like this.
It's pretty
because
cool.
It's like, he's about to say something nice and positive. And then he dropped that crackhead and meth head thing. And I lost my eyes. Like, this is the funniest thing. I don't know if y'all saw the clip that I shared where he talked about it. And then you see Matt Riddle run into the ring and you hear Michael Cole.
Yes.
Oh my God. It's the funniest thing ever. I love it. I love this version of The Rock. And I'm so happy that things worked the way they did because we're getting this version of The Rock.
Yes. No, I agree.
What I wanted.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's like, thank you.
I think it's great. I think it was perfect. I think it was like a perfect bait. Like he baited everybody into it. And I don't even think anybody really planned it. I just think that it just ended up happening and it was like, this is the perfect thing. There was no way that anybody in the world outside of Cody Rhodes at this moment, showing how big of a babyface he is, was going to turn The Rock heel. And now we get a nice little heel run from The Rock. And then once he, the turn is eventually made. I mean, that whole promo too. Yeah. Roman putting his hand on Rock as he went to go finish the promo. Roman's face throughout the entire promo, just pissed. I don't want to be here, and this guy is the reason why I got to sit here. I got to hear him talk, and then The Rock playing back up to Roman. No. Yeah,
we're family.
Yeah,
anything from my family.
You've been playing second fiddle to me this whole time. Oh wait, I acknowledge you. You are my tribal chief. Oh, you do? Oh, you're going to let me get the last word in? Let's go.
So, what I got to say is that 21-minute promo, besides the great acknowledgement part, which leaves more possibilities, that 21-minute promo, it was airtight. He started up from day one.
He told a story.
Literally told the story from day one. I was testing and I was seeing. So, he was defending everything about people's hate towards him. And he's like, and I'm going to tell you why. He defended the day one thing. He went off on about Cody, like, you gave me your word. I called, you said it was cool. And then what did you do? Showed him in the back. shaking his hand before they go out. You didn't tell me there was an issue. And then you come out and you say, bullshit is your first word. I was like, man, he's got some ammunition there. And that's the whole thing. Like Not Sam said. And then I noticed it happen once at the Australia. Like when he was talking to Grayson, he was about to explain like why he even gave it to The Rock. We haven't heard Cody's side of the story. So I'm really hoping that's Friday or tonight.
So, to touch on that real quick, who you guys think? I don't think anybody interferes. I think Solo's there, but I don't think anybody interferes in night 2. I think the interference happens in oh wait, you're talking about night 2. I think Solo, my theory at this point is that Solo either tries to interfere and gets ousted by The Rock, or Solo goes to hit the thumb on Cody and Cody ducks and he hits Roman instead. Those are my 2 theories as to who interferes on night 2. I don't like it because it kind of takes away from Cody's victory a little bit. But
I agree.
At the same time, it kind of goes with the story we've been watching.
So remember this stipulation. If the
baby watching, Chris, I appreciate you joining, man. Appreciate it.
If the baby faces win, no one can interfere. There's no one allowed at ringside at all. So
the baby faces are losing night 1.
Oh God. So do we think that Cody, after everything that we've seen, is still going to win at WrestleMania?
So here's how if I'll try to get this quick so I can get to my favorite moments. I don't want to skip Revolution. I think if what happens is Rock ends up pinning Rollins on night 1, and then we find out that Rock's been a double agent this whole time, and then Rollins wasn't in on it, he's going to be pissed. And what's he going to do? He's going to go after Cody. And that's how you get to the Seth Cody, the next thing of theirs. That's what I think that's a way you look that this thing plays out. Again, there's many options here. That's how I kind of see things playing out a little bit.
People talk about Seth screwing him. Definitely
and a lot of people are saying that. Honestly, I just want to throw this out real quick because I know you do want to talk about Revolution. We got Raw in 40 minutes. Just real quick. I don't want Seth to turn. I like Seth as being a babyface. I think he's over. I think he's fun.
Me too.
I think that once it starts losing its luster, because it will, because babyfaces always burn out at one point.
Tell that to Cody Rhodes, buddy.
Well, listen.
I love saying
just say I had to say it. I get because
but I see what Albert's saying. You can see it on the wall with Seth. Albert's right. You can kind of see it.
Right.
Which is why I think he shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
We expect Seth to do it, so that's why Seth shouldn't.
Right. Let him be honest. Let him be honorable. He's been honorable. Let him continue to be honorable.
He's been good at it. Very good.
And look, the writing is on the wall. It makes sense if he does turn. You took everything from me. You and then you left, and then he came back, and then everything was about you. And then I win this world title, and everything's still about you. And we're on the same show, and everything is still about you. Seth has every right to want to do it, and this is the perfect way for him to get close. He always said, even when Cody first came back, he's like, I'm never going to forgive you. I still hate your guts. But now, all of a sudden, he found a way to weasel his way in. So the story writes itself, and it's so good. I just don't want Seth to pull the trigger. I think it makes more sense for Seth to just be this honorable guy right now. Let him continue. If he loses to Drew, his unraveling can start then.
Yeah.
Well, he said he's the architect, and he's thought of every single angle of what can happen when he was talking to Drew. So he's thought of any angle and all angles. So
I got the phenomenal AJ Styles trying to get in this room right now.
Nice.
I think he's going to be there too. I don't think he's wrestling. I think he's just going to be there. It's the biggest WrestleMania of all time. The best of all time needs to be there. 1,000. Give me another segment. I want Stone Cold CM Punk to have a face off or something. Just give me something. My favorite moment of the week. I want to get to it. We are running light on time. AEW Revolution. I was not a fan of Dynamite, and I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to go on the show and talk about Dynamite like I have the last few weeks because I feel like they've been doing well. Dynamite was iffy. And in Collision, never watching it again after that one. It just was not the Collision I remember. Revolution, though, was the best pay-per-view that AEW has had since All Out 2021, and it probably is their second best ever. I said before the show, I don't want to see any big debuts. I don't want to see any big returns. I want it to just be a straightforward, good show and focus on Sting's last match, and that's exactly what they did. So I'm not saying
return, but still, I mean, it wasn't,
it wasn't a big one. It was just kind of like, here he is. We'll see what happens. They didn't do anything spectacular with it. They just said, Kyle O'Reilly's back.
Right.
Now wait to see what happens.
Right. Yeah, very happy, Tidy. Kyle O'Reilly, he was hurt for a while, and he's finally healthy again. It's great.
And so it wasn't a big return, and it's one of those returns that doesn't take away from Sting, and Sting doesn't take away from his return. I'm fine with it. The matches all delivered. I wasn't happy with one of the outcomes, but then I started thinking about it. I was like, oh, I kind of understand why FTR lost now. We don't know what's happening with Ash going forward with his impending court cases and everything.
Yes, that's true.
I kind of see why that's happening, and the match delivered, so I'm not mad at the match. It was a great match. Will Ospreay and Takeshita. This is the second time AEW's done this with me where I was like, I don't really know why I should care about this match. It's going to be good, but why should I care? It happened with Kenny Omega and Vikingo. And then after that match, I was like, oh, this was just two competitors trying to oust one each other. And I loved it because I got it after that. This is what Takeshita and Will Ospreay was. And my God, that match delivered. I just did one 2 weeks ago. This officially has taken the spot of Matt Taven versus Orange Cassidy. That's not no longer match of the year to me. Takeshita versus Ospreay was match of the year. It was insane to me. And this is the second time Will Ospreay's done this to me, where I was like, I'm not caring about his match going into the pay-per-view. And then both times now it's been the match of the night. And I'll talk about this one for a long time. It was beautiful. It was amazing. Sting's finale, it's beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. I was completely against it being the Young Bucks, and I still am against it that it was against the Young Bucks.
Yeah,
but
same.
The way it played out,
perfect.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah,
because it played out nicely. They did the thing. There was a point in the match I was like, am I a fan of the Young Bucks right now? Because they super kicked Ric Flair. Awesome. Then they turned around and super kicked Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and I'm like, this is awesome. And then I thought they were gonna do it to Sting and pin him, and I was like, I'm losing my mind here. And it didn't happen. And Sting got up and he took the powerbomb to the table and he no-sold it. We did the Sting spot, and he's like, and then he started whooping their ass. Everyone's complaining about the Darby Allin glass spot. Shut the freak up. Darby Allin is not a professional wrestler. He is a professional wrestler / stuntman / crazy / wannabe jackass star.
He's going to climb Mount Everest, for God's sakes.
That's his character. He is supposed to do that stuff. And I'll say it right now. I had this conversation. I think he's better than Jeff Hardy ever was in this environment. 1,000%, because I believe what he's doing. He is a psychopath, and I believe it. He delivers everything with 150% of what he has. He's believable. He's the most believable wrestler in the world to me right now. I love him. I would love to see Darby versus Gunther. I'm sure it's happened on the. I want to see it now. Those are 1 and 2, and that would be an amazing thing.
It has. I've actually seen it. It's. I think you think it should have been. You know, it really is.
Clips of it, but they used the real glass spots, which was kind of funny because I know why they did it. But it was cool when Sting got shot through it and that shit exploded. It was an amazing visual. When Darby did it to the chairs, and it was amazing visual. The triple threat match was beautifully done because it showed Hangman Page was. I'm a fan of Hangman Page now. This is how great AEW's been recently. And here you go. I'm loving what they're doing with Wardlow right now too because it's so good. No, he's done. He's done. But
I want to say this really quick about Wardlow. We've said that the exact phrase like 3 times before. That's the only thing that scares me. But
we have. I think with what he's able to do on the microphone now, they don't have to go out there and feed him to like security guard, whatever it is stupid. You can let him just go out there, yell on the mic, and it works.
No, it's true.
Stupid cat just opened my door.
He's found himself.
Where was I? Oh, the triple threat match. It was so beautifully done because Swerve was getting so irritated with Hangman that he took his eye off the prize, and that's why he lost. Hangman Page was so hell-bent on Swerve not winning that he said, I quit. And he tapped out. And he literally was losing focus during the match as well. He had Samoa Joe beat at one point, and he started just looking at Swerve like, I'm not done with you, boy. And he went back after him and started whooping his ass some more. It was so well done. There's not a spot of this show that I think missed. I think it was a perfect show. They did it really. They didn't put bells and whistles on it like they normally do. It was just a really, really, really good show. I'm sorry you didn't get to watch it, man, because it was that good. It really was that good.
I've heard a lot of good things. I actually, it's to the point where I actually might actually go back and order it. I wasn't gonna have the time to actually focus on it, and that was my thing. I want to give it a chance if I'm gonna watch it, and I want to watch it.
I think every match delivered. I think I don't want to say all the winners were right because I mean that's just my opinion, but I wasn't like terribly upset with any of the winners. Again, I was confused at first with the FTR one, but then I'm like, well, if Moxley and Claudio are going to be part of the tag division moving forward, that was cool. They came out with the Road Warrior spikes.
I saw that, which is super cool. Yeah,
it's just a really fun, good show, and AEW needs to do this. This is their cup of tea, and they need to focus on this moving forward, and they'll be fine.
I actually was going to say the exact same thing, and you took the words right out of my mouth. When AEW focuses on their own talent and focuses on their own stories and focuses on their own shows, they're at their strongest. It's when they start trying to integrate all these other things and do add all these other people and just getting people on the card and stuff like that, where it becomes a problem. They have a very big roster. It's very hard to manage already as it is, but they have some of the most talented wrestlers in the world in that company. Let them shine. Give them some time. Let's let everybody get invested in them. And that's the only thing that can happen is that more people are going to become bigger fans of these people.
Yeah. This is funny. Imagine that. Lex Luger was there. I didn't even see him. I didn't see him last night, but I saw clips of him today. He was there. So that was cool. He was just cheesing watching the match. That's always awesome to see.
You love that. Yeah.
I love seeing when wrestlers can watch it with that kind of, it's awesome to see. Brock versus, I literally just talked about this today and have been arguing with dummies who say it's a stupid match today on my Darby thing. It's my dream match, Brock and Darby, because it would be amazing. Brock would murder this guy, and it's fun to watch.
Right, and it's the same thing. It's funny because a lot of people get mad.
Harry. I like Harry here. Harry's got the right idea.
Harry's a good dude. So my thing is this. Everybody talks like crap about Darby, but if you take the theatrics away from Darby, you take the hardcore stuff out of it, he's Ilya Dragunov. And everybody fawns over Ilya Dragunov. And that's what I don't understand. Like, if that's what, and look, that's not like, sometimes that character for me just isn't completely believable. I like Dragunov a lot, but he's not one of my favorites. There's just a big part of me that, to me, I'm like, I just don't see this guy beating Gunther. I watched him do it, and it's still like there's a part of me that still slightly didn't believe it. And there's a lot of that happens with Darby as well. It's just me. And I'm okay to admit that that's me. That's a personal thing. I understand when people get into it. I wasn't a Jeff Hardy guy either. You know, it's just, I guess I'm just not that style of wrestler that, like, you know, but I love Sammy, and Bryan Danielson, which doesn't make sense. But like sometimes like that,
Danielson's not the same.
Because I think that there's different intangibles about Sami Zayn and Bryan Danielson that for me it separate them from those guys. I mean, it is what it is. Some people can lump them all together. Some people love them all. Some people don't like some of them or whatever. But
it makes sense.
They're not for me. Right? Yeah, but you know, it's just that is. But if you like that style, you have to love Darby. Darby's like he's the perfect character for that.
And here's the thing about Darby. If he doesn't do that stuff, he's still awesome.
Right.
Nobody does a suicide dive better than Darby Allin.
100%.
They shouldn't even be trying because of the way he does it. He's like a shotgun bullet or shell flying out. Like, it's so amazing. The corner splash he does where he just throws his back completely to you. Hell no, bro. You ain't doing that to me. That looks like it hurts.
Absolutely.
He goes 150% every single time, and that's why I love him.
Reminds me of the spirit of Sheamus.
Hey, Darby and Sheamus would be. I want to see Darby all the people who are stiff as hell because he would take it, and I feel like he would thrive in that environment. The 3 phases of Sting was cool. He had his son come out with
that was cool.
He had the other one come out, the Wolf. I'm not a big fan of the Wolfpack version, but I get why they did it. But that was a very cool thing they did. I really thought it was Sting that came out as Surfer Sting at first. I was like, he cut his hair. Oh my god! I almost like started welling up, but then the other one, I was like, oh, okay, that's his kids. Brock would never do that match. He ain't doing business with Orange Cassidy. Sorry, that's just Brock ain't doing that.
I think it's funny that all we just did was say that we really like to see matches where Darby just gets the absolute tar beat out of him. It's great.
He looks, every match he has, it literally looks like he's fighting for his life.
Yeah,
That's why I root for him. I'm like, come on, man, you got it. That's why I love Darby.
It's true.
Okay, we're getting close to that time, so we're gonna wrap it up here real quick. Real quick answer, Tidy. Who should induct Paul Heyman and Stall?
I was gonna say question of the week.
Oh, I already
Suggestion
said
of
it.
the
Paul
week.
Heyman should induct himself into the Hall of Fame. I already
I
said it.
like it. That was one of my mine too. Guestion of
Yep.
the week sent in by Paul Heyman himself. Paul E. Dangerous. He was like, I want to be part of the guestion of the week, so that's why we're asking this question. Albert, what about you? Who is inducting Paul Heyman into the Hall of Fame?
I can either seeing it be Mick Foley or Stone Cold Steve Austin as being the actual one who eventually does do it.
Mix
It would,
interesting.
yeah, Mick's got a lot of history with Paulie. They're both from New York. There's a lot. They grew up together in the business. I think like those are the guys who I think will do it. If I had my choice and I could have anybody do it, it would be the Dudley Boys and Tommy Dreamer.
Okay. Yeah, Tommy Dreamer was one of the shouts I was going to do. I'm not a fan of Tommy Dreamer in any way, shape, or form, though, so I'm not going to make that my pick.
I love Tommy Dreamers, though.
I'm going to go with the most obvious answer in the world coming from this guy. It should be CM Punk. CM Punk needs something to do. Yeah, and like he wanted to do Roddy Piper so dang bad, and he didn't get to do it. Let him do Paul Heyman. I think he would do Paul Heyman a great service by being the person that inducts him.
Also, he can.
They should do like 5 people to do it.
He can also throw shots at The Rock while he's doing it, which would make it very funny because he'd be like, "Yeah, remember that time that Cody got slapped?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'd punch Rock." And Rock's in the crowd. Hey, Rock, I see you over there. That'd be awesome. It'll add a little entertainment to it. I say yes.
Here's the phenomenal AJ Styles. He wanted to make a guest appearance. Now he's off to go to Raw. So now it is time to say our goodbyes. Tidy, any last words before we go?
I am looking forward to Drew disrupting some shit tonight because I know he's got a match versus, but even though he has matches, he always finds a way. Like, what do you say to Jay that started this bullshit? It's like, Jay's like, man, I keep falling down and I lose. I have to pick myself up. I keep falling down. And he comes out, I was like, I thought it was the first time to talk to you and tell you, you deserve this. I freaking eat that shit up. So he's going to get in someone's face tonight. I'm looking forward to Raw. That's all I got to say.
I'll say this about Brock. If the things did not happen with Brock and now he's like getting ousted and all of that and he's just not a part of anything, I would absolutely love to see it happen because I would love to see Brock do it. It's just not going to happen. I would be
honestly
blown away.
Brock has trouble putting together 7 sentences. That would be terrible. Heyman deserves better. Even if Brock was okay, I still don't think it should have been Brock.
I would love to see Brock do it. That's why I don't know if it would be great. I don't know if it'd be bad. That's why I want to see it. I want to see either something really cool happen or a complete train wreck. That's who I am. I'm a moment maker, and that would be a moment, one way or another. Albert, let them know what's up, where they got to go, and say your goodbyes.
Go watch the Slam Sessions. A new video will be uploaded either tonight or tomorrow morning, so keep an eye out for that. And keep an eye out for me to retain my World Heavyweight Championship against these guys when I am still predicted champion.
Like WrestleMania extravaganza.
Nah, baby. So
you can't. What do you have that mentality for? You acting like JD McDonough over there. I can't win. You got to have some faith in yourself, Tidy. So,
Tidy, you got 12 pay-per-views a year for WWE. You can do it.
All right, fine. You know what? I'll try to use my head on this one. Fine.
Hey, go as a fan. Go as a fan. Do what you got to do because eventually it's going to pay off.
Yeah, that happens 1 out of 10 times.
With that said, WrestleMania Extravaganza is coming up. It's going to be a big prediction show. I want to get some heads. I want to make this as fun as possible. So that look out for that. Wrestling with Your Thoughts is coming up. Our buddy Albert here will be taking on another good part of ours, Beast Mode. On Wrestling with Your Thoughts over at Wrestling Legion. It'll be on the 18th, I believe. It might end up being the 17th. I'm not 100% sure. They're figuring out the dates. But keep your eyes out for that. And as soon as I know, I'll let y'all know. You should definitely watch it. It's going to be fun, especially if you're a WCW fan, because they're rebooking New Blood Rising.
It's going to be fun.
And with that, we will be back here.
I have to watch it this week. I have to watch that this week. I'm really not looking forward to it. The other shows I'm really looking forward to.
Don't watch New Blood Rising because it'll just make you overthink shit. Do your own show, man. I promise you. It'll be better that way. It'll really be better that way. But we'll be back here at the normal time because there's no counter booking going on next Sunday. So we'll be back Sunday. I'm going to try to get us a new guest on for next week. Maybe a returning guest. I'm not sure, but I definitely want to get a guest on for next week. And we will be talking about, again, our favorite moments of the week, as well as, I don't know yet. It'll depend on what happens this week. Hopefully Raw gives us something amazing, like Becky Lynch punching Nia Jax and busting her nose. That would be really cool. So check us out on Sunday next week. We'll have a guest. We'll have some more fun because that's what we're here to do. And with that said, thank you all for joining us. We had some more people in the chat tonight that haven't been in here before. That was really cool. We had some.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was really fun. I appreciate y'all for participating. I appreciate y'all for supporting. And don't ever forget to just enjoy wrestling. We will see you all later. And as our girl Tiffany says, toodles.